Are you there? Jen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Am I sharing screen with you right now?
No.
Hold on here. Chat, allow, record, put,
Do you have a share screen there?
Is it shared now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's 4 people on, so let me add them. Okay.
Now you can pull the recipe up then.
I can pull the recipe. I don't know how to pull a recipe.
Or how you share screen then? You share screen that then you can open.
You were going to pull it up. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, then I have to. I can't share it right now. You have to give me the host.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Then you don't. If you don't do the, if you don't pull up the recipe, you don't have to share screen.
Oh. Okay. Hold on. This is confusing here. Okay. I'm sharing screen right now. So let me go and
Just to do no sharing.
hold on. Somebody's bothering me. Hold on. Okay. Where is it? Okay. Where's my waiting room?
Why don't you get out the
Okay.
share screen first?
Get out share screen. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause. Can I pause? I resume share. Your screen sharing is paused. Why don't I just, I thought you can do it. That's the whole point. I thought you were gonna do it.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to share screen. You should supposed to give me the host part.
Oh,
Not
okay,
sharing
okay.
screen.
Okay.
Because now I can't get to, once you're sharing screen, I can't get to my own
Okay.
screen.
I'm gonna make you the host.
Okay.
You got it?
Let me see.
I stopped sharing screen with you.
Yeah, okay, then this will stop the other sharing screen, yes.
Okay.
I don't need yours. I will open mine.
I'm just gonna say a little welcome and intro, and then I'll say a little bit about you, and then let you go from there. Okay.
You go right ahead, no problem.
Okay. I'm gonna start letting people in. Okay.
Okay.
All right, because I'm starting to record already. Okay. Participants. Okay. What happened to? Oh boy.
You got a lot of people there.
I don't see it. Where did it go?
Oh, is it? Let me see. View. Yeah, I see the waiting room.
I don't have the waiting room.
So maybe because you give me the host.
Oh, that's why.
Let me just admit all.
Okay, just admit all. Okay.
Let them all come in.
Okay. Let me take the host back first, okay?
Just a minute, let me get the screen up.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I have the first one up. You can.
Okay.
You can take the screen back. The host.
Okay.
Back.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I know how to do this. I'm not sure why I can't take the screen back.
Remember the, let me admit another one. You sure you remember you can take, how you can take it back earlier?
Hold on. Am I supposed to see? I don't know why.
Okay, have another. Remember how you take the.
I click your name.
Remember how you. Yeah, can you reclaim?
I cannot return it for some reason. Can you back to me the host?
Let's see.
Hold on.
More. How do I go back the host? Hold on here.
Maybe I can do this.
Oh, I got it now. Okay, I got it. Okay,
All right.
okay. So I don't need to make you a host anymore, right?
Not until I share the second recipe.
Right, okay, okay. Hold on here. Now I can see the participants. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. All right, okay. Let me go ahead and add that on then. Okay, hold on.
There's one more coming.
Okay,
Isn't it? I heard the beep.
okay. Hold on here.
There's a waiting room.
Okay. Can everybody, hold on one second here. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Can everybody hear me and see me? My name is Susan. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first cooking class this month. We're excited about starting this program. A couple things I wanted to go over with everybody is that when we start this program, feel free to ask questions while Jen is cooking. You can interact. While she's talking, if you want to mute your microphone, and if you have a question, either you can chat me and I can ask the question, or we're going to save some time at the end to be able to ask her questions at the end, but you can answer it during her cooking. We're going to have the recipe. You see it's up here on front, but I'm going to post the recipes on our website at www.tucsonchinese.org. We will love you guys if you guys have suggestions or ideas about certain recipes you'd like to see as we develop this program. Feel free to email me and we can add it on to the agenda if there's certain recipes you want to see her cook. So with that, I'm going to introduce Jin, who's been a great supporter of the Tucson Chinese Cultural Center. She is a Chinese school teacher. She helps in our field trips. She's bilingual. She speaks Cantonese and Mandarin. So we might have a little class here too while she's cooking. So that'll be a little bit of fun also. And she's helped us volunteer a lot in our field trip program. So at this point, Jin, take it away.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't really speak Cantonese. I understand some. Speaking-wise, it will be pretty bad on that part. I do speak another dialect, is a Shanghai dialect, if anyone wants to use that. But first, welcome. And then what are we doing today? It's basically it's a home cooking. You can probably find this dish in different variations across China and any family, because tofu is a very important part of the diet in the Chinese cuisine. And what I use here is, I find them in the Chinese Asian grocery stores. What the pack look like this, but there are many other packages available, and then slightly variations of a tofu. But this tofu, the reason I like them is they're not soft. It can be stir-fried and still maintain shape. And after you open the package, this is what it looks like. It's the whole piece. And you know this, you can see it's less than ½ inch thick. There are some thicker ones, but then you can see there are more of like a honeycombed texture in the middle. For this one, let me I will cut these for you. I'll show you how to cut this. But after you cutting it, it's look like, when I say matchstick, it's a little bit like a little sticks. Okay, so I will show you how to cut this in a little bit. The second part of the ingredients we have is celery. I want to use 2 full stalks of celery, and then you need to cut them, also matchstick size. The way I like to do these is, after I cut them, I actually soak them in water for maybe 15 minutes or so. And once it's soaked, it washed out the heavy celery flavor.
and it taste wise, it won't compete with all the other ingredients that you use in the dish. So I will show you how to do this. And then the other thing we need for this dish is celery, carrots, and peel and washed and pat dry. And then the main ingredients, obviously, is chicken. What I use is a chicken breast. I have the chicken breast. It can be a smaller size. This one is pretty big, but the chicken breast, the easiest way to cut this is you actually put in the freezer. You lay them flat and put in the freezer. And then the day before you want to, you get ready to prepare it, take it out the night before, but still, and then put in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, it's still, right now, it's still like almost half frozen, but it's the perfect time to cut this. So I will show you how to cut this first. Okay, now I'm going to move this over. I will show you, I will move this, I will adjust the angle that you can see the cutting board, not too much of me. So here's the cutting board. So what I do is I cut the chicken breast into, because this is a pretty big one, so I'm cutting these into 3 parts first. Okay. Once I cut these in 3 parts, then I will stand up and then I will slice it. Because it's a half frozen. It maintains shape. It's not so slippery. You're able to slice it. And after you slice it, and then you turn the corner again, then you cut this into shredded, we call it, then it becomes the shredded chicken. So shredded chicken, as I said, this is still half frozen. I mean, they look like this. They're all in a very similar shape. Okay, so for this, then we just put them in the bowl. You'd have to let this completely thaw out before it is used. So let me just go ahead and cut these quickly. Because the thickness is a little bit have variations on the for a piece of chicken breast, and they're a little longer, a little thicker, a little thinner. It's really it won't create any problem. So as I said, this piece of chicken breast this one is a pretty large. This could be with this dish, it's all together combined. Once it's made, I think this will actually able to serve 3 people. For a small appetite, it probably can serve 4 people along with another vegetable and another like a rice or noodles together. So this, if you want to have just a very simple dinner for 2 or 3 people, this should be sufficient because you have protein, everything. So this is what it looked like after it's cut. See, it's still, as I said, it's still half frozen, so you just need to wait until it's all thawed out. And so what I did was, I have something prepared earlier. Get my hand washed. Can move that up a little. So I cut some of the chicken breast earlier,
And it has already been thawed out. They're nice and soft. That you're able to see. They're all soft. But before we can cook this, there is this extra step of preparation. It will help tenderize the chicken. So after it's all cooked together, the chicken will taste much better. It's not like a dry or hard to chew. This step is you adding for this one breast of chicken, we're adding one of the egg whites. So we crack the egg, and you only drop the egg white in here. Since we're going to make a fried rice, I will just add this egg yolk remaining of the white into a bowl where I can save it for making, to use it for fried rice. And then after you have the egg white in there, you just need to stir it, make sure it's all mixed. Make sure the egg whites is mixed into the chicken. This egg white helps tenderize the meat. And when you do stir fry of this, it look a little more fluffy and tastes very, very tender. So after you have this all mixed well together, you need to add a little bit of cornstarch in it. It's just regular cornstarch. So what I do is just a sprinkle just the one layer, a thin layer on top of the chicken. And then again, you mix it. Now this is ready to be cooked. And then the reason I like to prep this meat part first, so it can sit a little while, just let it rest. And then while this is resting, we will be cutting the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so chicken is ready. We just set this aside. Since we're going to cook this within 15-20 minutes, I just leave them in the room temperature. But if you have this prepped early in the morning and you're not going to cook until you're going to prepare this for dinner, and then just put this in the refrigerator. Or you can even put it in the food safe container. Okay, for the tofu, the way we're going to cut this, I usually cut them, I just lay them down and then I slice it sideways. After I slice it, and then I cut matchstick. But just, if you never cut this before, there's a little easier way to do. Cut this in half first, and then you stand up. See, once you cut, the reason we call this a five spiced, because it's all marinated, and then the way in the process they have a five spice. But inside the tofu, once you cut it, you see it all brown at the outside, brown skinned, but inside is still white. So then you stand it up after I cut that in half, and then cut this piece into 3 slices. If they're a little thicker, you can do 4 slices. This piece is slightly thicker. So I'll cut this into 4 slices, and then you still just line this up. And then we'll do this one the same way. And then you will cut this again. Now it's the matchstick size.
So you just come down. They're pretty stable. They're not slippery. And once you stack it up evenly. So now this, it's all become the matchstick shape. Okay. So this in the bowl. Now look at this. We're going to cut this piece also. This one is a slice thinner, slightly thinner than the other piece. So I'll just slice this into 3. And then again, lay it flat, stack it up evenly, and start cutting it. Okay. If anyone have a trouble hearing me, if I'm speak too low, please let me know. Okay, so this is the tofu. This is a 1 pack. 1 pack of this particular brand. 1 pack has 4 slices in it. And for 1 meal, I usually just make all 4 slices. But if you're going to make it for yourself, you can use 2 slices. Just cut everything proportionally, cut it down. So that's tofu. And then the next thing we're going to cut are the celeries. As I said, we do 2 full stalk of celery. I like them to be a little thinner. The celery does has fairly strong flavor. So what I usually do is I lay it down and then I use the knife, the side of the knife, press it down. Basically, you flatten the celery. You flatten first, and then you slice it this horizontally and slice it. Then now the celery is a little thinner. Okay. Now it's a little thinner. So slice this one too. Okay. So once it is sliced, then this is very long. Now I cut this into 3 parts. About 3 parts here. And then just turn all of them. Now you can start cutting this sideways again. This is like a matchstick. Like this. Okay. If you, first a few tries, if this is, you get used to it. If they are too thick, then you can always just go pick it up and then go back. So you check that, oh, I have a 1 piece that's too thick. And you can just take it out and then try to slice it into a smaller piece. But as you continue doing this, and you get used to it, you're able to control much better on size. And the ones that's after being soaked in water, they curled up a little bit. But the flavor-wise, this is much milder because you already drained out the first round of the water from here. So for this part of celery, we'll just use this little food container and then to put it in, and I will add water to it. This is just the regular tap water. You just add water to it and just let it soak. Okay, so that's that part. And then here comes the carrots. Carrots, it's still, there are many different ways to cut carrots into the matchstick size. The way I do it, I see people cutting them into chunks first and then slice it. The way I got used to is I just hold it, have it laid on the cutting board, and then I start slice it first from the end. This is that you need to hold down to hold the carrots very steady so it doesn't roll around. So once this is all cut this way, you can see this, like basically this all got sliced, and the center part is a little long, but they're about 1/8 inch thickness. And then after then you can lay this, pat it down flat a little bit. Then you can cut them all together, just like when we cut the. You can make all this into a matchstick size, and just hold it down. If you not comfortable with it this way, and you can pick out a few slices at a time, and then cut into the matchstick. So that's pretty much like that, like a sticks. Okay. There are most grocery stores that have them pre-cut ones. You can also buy pre-cut ones. So this you can simply just put in the bowl. See, there are like pieces that are maybe a little too thick. When they're little too thick, you can just take it out, and you can give them one more divide here, and then make it pretty much the similar size as the others. Okay. So while we're cutting, what I like to do, so these are pretty much all the ingredients we have for our first dish, the chicken stir fry. As I said, if you have a tofu and chicken together, you can just stir fry them all by itself. That's perfectly fine. I personally, we always did it with celery and carrots. It gives a little nicer color, and also a little extra vegetables. So now I'd like to prepare the things that we're going to use for the fried rice. It's a vegetable fried rice, and we need carrots, onions, and lettuce. I only use the head lettuce, just regular head lettuce, and then the egg. So we can go ahead, crack the egg first while we have this bowl here. We just crack the egg in here. And then we have that step done. And then we leave this egg on the side. Okay. And for the carrots, basically we're calling for diced carrots. So it's similar way, the way we did the stick earlier. So it's one more step after the stick. So I'm going to cut the stick first. This doesn't have to be very thin. Okay, as I said, if we're uncomfortable of pile them all together and then cutting stick, you can just take a few pieces out and stack it up, and then cut the stick this way. Can do it this way too. Make sure the carrots are all peeled. So once we have that into a stick, you turn it around. You turn it around and then kind of use the knife to make this all level. And then just start cutting this into little, they're very small cubes. These are the small cubes. See, these are just very small cubes here. Okay, so I can just move this to the side of the bowl. Then I will cut onions and I'll put onions in there. Okay. I use half of the yellow onion peeled, and then for the 2 ends, you can simply just cut it off. And then we need to dice the onions. And I believe the grocery stores also have diced onions. If you don't like to cut these, you can buy pre-cut ones. So the way I cut this, cut it to the dice, is the half onion. I turned it sideways, and then while it's all together, and then you just slice it into the small, like this is just about 1/4 inch wide. And then after that, then you turn it again and then start cutting about the same. Then now it'll become diced onions, small pieces. If you don't like that much onion, then you can put less or not using it at all. So these are all diced, and then for the last part, you can let it turn it down, and then cutting it again. And then there are some of them are, if it's not diced, you can just turn this around again, make it equal dice.
Jen, somebody asked, how do you say onion in Mandarin, and how do you say carrot in Mandarin?
Okay, onion in Mandarin is yangcong. This kind of onion is yangcong. And the carrot is 胡萝卜. 胡萝卜. So I'll put the onions in here.
I had somebody chat me and asked if you can do a chopstick demonstration at the end for them to properly hold a chopstick.
We can do that.
Okay, so maybe the audience would like to get their chopsticks a little bit later, and she can do a demo on how to hold a chopstick for everybody.
Yeah, we can do that. And then the other thing we need for the fried rice is some green onions, scallions. 这是青葱. Okay, 青葱. So scallions, I usually use just the green part for the fried rice. So once you get the onions, and then just wash it, and then just cut from the end, the green end, and just make it very thin. Then they all become thin rings of green onions. Depends on how much rice already you make. You can use a little more or a little less. And then the rest of the onion, you can save it for to use it for other things. So these are our onions. Okay. And the last piece for the vegetable fried rice is our lettuce. Lettuce, it's this one is added to the very end of the dish right before the fried rice comes out, and it gives the little crunchiness. So what I do is you just cut we only need like a half bowl to give it enough full.
Jen, somebody chatted with me and asked, would it be a good substitute to use cabbage as an alternative to make it sweeter?
You mean to use what? I'm sorry?
Use cabbage instead of lettuce.
Cabbage has a stronger flavor. It's also a little, it takes a little longer to cook it to the proper texture. Otherwise, it will still have a little bit of raw taste to it, or sometimes it gets a little too well done, so it affects the flavor. And that's the reason I don't use cabbage, but everyone's taste is different. So I don't mind you trying it, but you can find out if you really likes or not. But the reason I don't use it is just because it has a stronger flavor. So for the lettuce, you kind of like slice it, and then again turn it around, cut it into smaller, just to chop it basically into the smaller pieces. What I have cutting here is probably more than half cut, but what to use, how much to use for each of the ingredients. It's very flexible. Little more, little less. It won't make that much of a difference in taste. So this is pretty much all we going to cut today for both of our dishes. And for fried rice, I think I mentioned in my recipe, you can use either white rice, cooked white rice, preferably maybe a day old or something you cooked early in the morning or lunchtime, but put them in the refrigerator. Make sure it's all cold. Once the rice is all cooled down or out of the refrigerator, make sure you use spoon or even hand, loosen them. Make sure that all the rices are loose. They're not in the clogs all together or one bundle at a time. Because once you put that in the wok, you still have to break them. It's rather easier if you have them all loosened beforehand. And you can also use brown rice for fried rice. In fact, I'm going to use brown rice today. It gives the brown rice, it gives extra nutty flavor to use in the fried rice. Okay. Any questions this far?
Jen, somebody asked when you said brown rice, they said, would you recommend short grain rice too? Short grain rice?
I do, yeah, I prefer the one I have is a medium. Let's see, mine is not really, mine is kind of like a medium grain, but any kind is fine. Short grain, I usually don't use long grain, so I have no experience with long grain, but my brown rice is like this medium grain.
Okay.
But this is all, say what I mean. Brown rice is much easier. They're pretty loose to begin with, and you only need to have a spoon or fork, sometimes even chopsticks. And it's very easy to loosen this. But white rice, especially if it's short grain, they tend to stick together. Then you really need to loosen it. And also, if you're preparing, if you already have a plan, you're going to make a fried rice, and then make sure when you cook the rice with the white rice, don't put too much water in it. Because once you have too much water in the rice, for white rice, it's the rice is going to be very soft. Even though you put it in the refrigerator and cool it, the rice will still be maintain its sticky texture.
Another viewer asked what type of chef's knife would you recommend to buy for cooking?
Oh, I would say anything that you are comfortable holding in your hand. I have used many different kinds. And I have not really used a traditional Chinese kind. It's just a little too bulky for me. This one I bought this when I moved here. But this one it's fine. But to me, this shape for cutting meat, it's great because it gives you little. I mean, has enough width here, so it holds. It maintains once you're cutting it, slice it or shred it, it actually holds very well. And then the weight of the knife is important. You don't want something that's really clumsy, very light. When you pick up a knife that's really, really light, it's hard to cut anything substantial. For example, even for carrots, if the knife is very, very light and thin, it's hard to cut the root vegetables and maintain the shape, especially for slicing it. And it just does not give you the same consistency. So weight and the feel when you're holding it. And then for meat, I really do just prefer, personally, I prefer this shape. And then my set come with the one I used earlier. The reason I didn't use that one for cutting the meat earlier, because I was planning, I like to use this more than any other one. So, because I know I'm cutting all the other veggies, so I kept this on the side for veggies, and I used this for meat earlier. So my set come with these and then a few other pieces, but they're pretty much just American style knife. Okay. Any
Jen,
other
do you
questions?
want
Yeah.
to put up the Chinese fried rice recipe now?
Okay, you have to, I
Okay,
think you
thank
have to give me
Host.
the, hosting.
Okay. And again, we'll have the recipes put on the website at TucsonChinese.org later on this week that you can download.
Okay, this is still okay, now maybe I should stop sharing here. Let me go share screen. Okay, this is still let me go this. Okay, there is okay, here's the fried rice one. So we have the rice, and then we have the egg cracked in the bowl waiting, and we have the carrots, onion, lettuce, and green onions. As I said, the sesame seeds is optional if you like a little nutty seeds flavor, and then you can use sesame seeds.
It still hasn't popped up yet.
It's on my screen.
Does everybody see it? No, they don't.
Okay.
Maybe I need to share screen.
We can see the title, but not the description.
Okay, hold on one second. Let's see. Let me share again. Let's see. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Now we see it. Now we see it.
Oh, good.
Okay. If you want to give me
Okay,
back
let
the
me just-
host, Jen.
You have to claim it. I can't give it back
Okay. All right.
since you started it.
Is there a way to print that while we're doing this or not?
Uh,
A print thing, but I don't know if it would take me out of the Zoom.
Susan, can you put this in the chat? And then if you put in the chat, they can probably print it and just open and print.
That's asking for a lot, unfortunately. I think
Okay.
I'm not going to try that. That's too difficult for me.
Send it to
Okay,
us.
maybe what we can do this after we cook both things, and then she can give me the host back, and then I will put it both in the chat. How's that?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, any questions before we continue the cooking part? One thing to show you. Here's a celery that I put in the water, and you saw that it was all straight, right? So let me drain the water out, and I'll show you this. So now it doesn't look straight anymore. They all curled up. But the flavor is now milder. Now I can add this just to the celery part. Okay. Now, any questions before we move on? Okay, now let me move all my things over. Ooh, I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm going to move us over here. See if you can see my stove. You can see my stove, right?
That's great.
Okay, so now we turn down the heat to high heat. Okay, we're gonna start by the chicken first. I need to wait for the wok to get warm. So hot wok bottom prevents the meat sticking from it. So the way you know whether the wok is hot enough is you actually use the top of your hand, not the palm side. Use the top of your hand. If you hold it over the wok, if you feel that that's pretty hot, then it's ready to pour oil in it. Okay, so we're just going to give a second. So I just use canola oil. If you have other preferences with your oil, you can use it. Even olive oil will work. So remember, this is the chicken that we prepped earlier. So they are now very consistent. It's not watery or anything. It's pretty consistent. And I use chopsticks a lot. I mean, we're talking about chopsticks, the proper way to use it. I use the chopsticks a lot in my cooking. You see in a little bit even when I have to, because this is all thin shreds of chicken, I actually go to use chopsticks at the very beginning to help separate it. So now the oil, it's pretty warm now. I mean, not oil, the wok is pretty warm because I put my hand here, I can feel the heat. And then I will pour oil in here. It may seem a little more than what you usually do. We're not going to use all of this oil. Not all of these is going to go in the dish. The reason I use more and then swirl around the side of the wok a little bit, because I want the chicken to separate well. So you pour this in, nice. Just be careful when you pour it in. Okay. So it's like this, and then just stir it out. The chicken are turning white as the heat getting through. So at this point, they're pretty much they're all like separated. So at this point, I will give up my chopsticks and I start using my ladle and then there's still some that's just on the bottom, so which is fine. So now you stir and make sure all the chicken meat turn white. We don't want pink uncooked meat in here. Okay. So at this point, when they're all pretty much turned white, see, they're all pretty much turned white, and then they are loosened. At this point, we can turn the heat off for just a second. And then what I do here is that I use this strainer to get just to strain all the chicken out. Leave the excess oil in the pot. Okay. Now put the chicken on the side. And then for this oil, I'll actually pour this oil to a separate bowl. There are still oil left in here. Okay. So I basically poured the excess oil in the bowl here. We can use this for stir frying the rest of the vegetables. And therefore, the reason I took the oil out first is because there are some of the meat that's stuck on the bottom. We have a little extra quantity here today. So I like to scrape this off and then for this to walk clean first. And I also wash off all the oil I have in here. So give me 1 second. Okay, so once we wash that off, then we put this back on the stove, turn down the high heat again. Turn down the high heat, and then we will use the oil that we saved. Some of these back into the wok. Okay. And then we're going to put in the celery. Okay. Basically give a quick top. That they pretty much all got coated with oil. Just a quick top here. Okay. Now we add our tofu in here. And most of the tofu they're all pretty, as I said, we're cutting them in a similar shape. So we just also give a top here. Okay, at this point, we're going to add our soy sauce. So pretty much like a 2 tablespoons.
Jen?
Yes.
Yes, I was trying to see if you can remove the recipe right now. Some people would like to see it zoom bigger, and the recipe is not allowing us to zoom bigger.
Okay, you took over the host though. I can't
Okay.
really-
So let me go ahead and make you the host again. Okay, you're the host.
Okay, then we'll do stop sharing.
There you go.
Okay.
Then they could see more. Okay, and then if you can, go ahead and reclaim the host.
Yeah, go ahead. So here we have the soy sauce in here, and then you just make sure you mix that well, make sure it's all coated. And then now I will add a little bit of sugar. I suggested a teaspoon of sugar. Just regular white granulated sugar, just a little teaspoon. And chicken essence. Chicken essence.
Jen, one of the viewers asked, what is chicken essence? What is that?
Chicken essence is, this is what I use. Okay. I can show you a little more of this.
Can you use, someone asks, can you use chicken broth instead of powdered chicken essence?
For the stir fry, I rather not because you're adding extra liquid in here. You don't want that much liquid in the stir fry. And this is the oyster sauce. I just use a little bit of it. You don't have to use it. It's just a habit for me. I use a little bit of oyster oil in it. This is pretty much ready. At this point, we're adding our chicken in it. We can try to heat to medium instead of continue high. So you're adding chicken to it. Seems like a quite bit here. Make sure you hold the chicken and you stir. Only take the chicken out because on the bottom of the bowl there's still oil. I don't really want that much of the oil in here. So I just kind of drain the bottom, leave the oil in the bowl. The reason I'm adding the chicken last, once it's all seasoned. So the chicken, you can still see the chicken, the white part of the chicken, it looks lighter in color. It makes the whole dish look a little better. It's not everything is all dark. It maintains the color. Now you can kind of heat that to high to give it a minute of a stir, and then this dish is ready. Just make sure you mix it well. If you love some sesame oil at the very end, you can top a few drops of sesame oil in it. I usually don't. So this is our chicken stir fry. So now I will just put this in the plate. Put this. As I said, this is a plenty. This is one portion. It's plenty to serve 3 to 4 people. So. So this is the chicken stir fry. That's ready. Like this. Okay, so I'll put this on the side for now. Then we'll get the clean so we can make our fried rice. Okay, we will go for high heat again. And then here is the egg. We're going to scramble the egg first. And I sprinkle a little bit of salt in the egg. And you just scramble it all up. It just become up to scramble. And I will still use the oil that we just used for, unless you're 100% vegetarian, and then you can use fresh oil, but this we just used, and then we can just use that same oil and then pour that in here and to scramble our eggs. Onions here and my fried rice here. Onions. Okay, so here we're going to scramble the egg first. So what you do with the egg, you just keep stir it basically until it's pretty much. While you're stirring it and you make them into smaller pieces, just use your ladle to cut it into small pieces. And after that, we add push this kind of like to the side a little bit, leave the center open, and then add onions in there first. Then cook the onion first until the onions is a little bit of translucent. And some of the pieces that are together, you just use your ladle to break it open. So that it changes the color to a little bit of a translucent. And then we add in the carrots. Now we're adding our rice. So that you keep stirring it. It depends on if you like soy flavor more than salt, and you can use soy sauce in here, or use a little bit of soy sauce for color, and use the salt for flavor. Okay, so I will turn the heat to medium while I'm adding ingredients. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And then I will use the soy sauce for the color. Again, I will add a little bit of a chicken essence. Doesn't need much, it's like a teaspoon. And you can keep the heat at the medium if you want. Unless you think you can't stir fry quick enough, and then you can turn that in to low heat. Okay, the rice is pretty soft now. You can tell it's not so every kernel separated. They have they kind of try to group together a little bit. And then at this point, we can add our lettuce.
Jen, is that onions that you just dropped in there?
Hmm? No, that's the lettuce. No, those are the lettuce.
Oh, okay.
Onions, the white onion, the yellow onions, it got into the water right after the egg. And the lettuce is for crunchiness, so it doesn't need to be cooked so well done. And then now we can add in the onions, the scallions, green scallions. At this point, I will give a couple dash of the white pepper. And then you can turn the heat off. All you need to do now is just stir, make sure it's all mixed. And your fried rice is ready. Okay, so there it is. You can put in a bowl again, of course. I mean, so-called vegetable fried rice, I mean, it has still a little protein in it. It's where the egg. Okay, so I'll leave this in here.
Did you put something into the egg before you put it in the wok?
I sprinkle some salt in there.
Salt, okay. Just want to make
Because
sure.
that way the egg itself still has a little flavor.
Yeah,
Okay, so
okay.
over here.
If you wanted to make the fried rice chicken fried rice, would you just put the chicken, would you do it in the same order as the stir fry? Cook the chicken first and then add it in?
For the chicken fried rice, there are a couple ways to do it. You can do the way like I did stir fry, and then the chicken, you can cut them instead of the stick, you can cut them shorter, become chunks, and then prepare them the same way as we did the stir fry. Or you can poach the chicken, put some salt in the water and some chicken essence in the water, even though we're cooking chicken, but just give them a little extra flavor, because when you poach the chicken, some of chicken flavor actually escape from to the water. So you basically try to lock it in. So if you poach the chicken, then you can just, after it's poached, the food, then you can cut the chicken into small chunks. And if that's the case, then chicken can be added pretty much to the very last step as well, right before the lettuce. Then just mix it together.
Jen, somebody wanted to know, what brand of wok are you using? What should they look for when buying a wok?
I'm still looking for the perfect wok.
Okay.
I haven't found one. So this one is, let's see, what, I don't even remember. I had this for a few years. I'm not sure this is a cuisine art or not. It may be a cuisine art, but I mean, I'm still looking for a perfect wok. But you don't want the wok to be too heavy. Stainless steel is great. I like the Alclide brand, but their wok is so heavy. I'd use their pots for stew, but for wok, it just I can't really use it. It's
their wok is not as big as the one I have, but it's hard for me to really hold it up. So it's you don't want them too thin either, because the heat get to the wok so fast and then transfer to the food. If you just like distract it a little bit, it could get your food burned.
Can you show us, since you used chopsticks throughout the whole process, can you show us now how to hold the chopsticks properly?
Yeah, let me get my chopsticks. Okay, there are many, as you know, there are many different kinds of chopsticks. We actually did a Chinese cultural club for the kids at Basis yesterday for the after school program, and we were showing them how to use chopsticks, showing them all different kinds of chopsticks. I was digging around. I said, I know I have a lot of chopsticks, and so I was showing them like 12 different kinds of chopsticks yesterday. So this pair, this is a kind of interesting. I like these. Is that the top is like a square. It's very comfortable to hold, but the bottom is really thin. It's really easy to pick up food. So what do you do with the chopsticks is that for the first, you basically, your right hand, or if you're left-handed, left hand, you just put this right in between, just lay this rest right here, the first part piece, and then your ring finger, the supports, put that on the bottom of it, okay? And then your middle finger, it's right here. So now, without your really thumb and index, you're holding this piece of chopsticks. Okay? And then, second piece is putting right on top of it. Then you use your index finger and your thumb, you're holding this together. Okay, and make sure the tip is leveled. They are the same spot. You don't want this shorter. You don't want this shorter, or you don't want this longer either. So at the same spot, okay? The way to use it is the bottom piece is pretty much, it stays there. You don't really move the bottom piece too much. The piece that's working is the top piece. Okay, so you use this, you just move it. When you move this, you're picking up food. I was using, let's see, where is it? I was using goldfish yesterday to show kids how to pick up, to practice. So I was using goldfish in the bowl and then just to pick one piece at a time and to do that. But for us, for me to show how, we can do rice. Well, you know, chicken, it's fairly simple. We can do chicken, right? So chicken, they're in strings and long. I mean, for these are pretty simple. You can pick up a piece of chicken, you can pick up a piece of carrots, right? And then tofu, you can find a piece of celery, and then that's easy. But for rice, it's, if you really want to practice for this, or sometimes, yeah, I don't want to eat too much, but I'm not hungry, but I'm like, I have to be here. Then what do? Okay, I'll pick up the rice, one kernel of rice at a time. You can pick up a kernel of rice, okay, put it in there. But for Chinese people, when they eat, they have the food in their bowl, right? They don't really pick up one piece of rice at a time. For this, if we consider this as a bowl, the way they eat this rice, fried rice, is they actually dig it down in their own bowl, not in the common bowl, and then they actually pick up. See, the two chopsticks is served as you're holding a group of food here. Then you can put this in your mouth, right? That's how you eat it. And then if it's particularly, I don't like carrots. I don't want to eat carrots. Then what do? We use chopsticks and we take out all the carrots around, and then you can put on the side, and you can eat the rest of the food, the ingredients that you like. But this is sticks. So
Millie?
if this is your own bowl, so if it's your own bowl, you simply just use it to dig it down and hold a group, and then that's how you consume consuming. But in China, then most of the time at dinner table, the rice they give you a bowl of rice to begin with, and then you get the food. Like say you have a bowl of rice, and then you grab some tofu. You can grab more than one. The same thing right here. Let me show you how you don't pick up one piece at a time. It's like, okay, I'm not really picky. I eat everything. So you just open your chopsticks. So you open it, and then you go down, and then you can pick up a cluster of it. And then you put that in your bowl. You put it in your bowl, and then people eat it. They can either eat it by itself or the rice. If it's too hard to pick up at the end, they actually hold a bowl to their mouth, and then they start scraping the remaining food in the bowl and push that into their mouth. That's how they eat. For soup, for noodles, everything's with chopsticks. How do we have soup with the chopsticks? You use the chopsticks, pick out all the ingredients in the soup, and then at the end, with only soup in the bowl, you pick up the bowl and drink it. That's how we use chopsticks for soup. I mean, this is like just a normal family, all that, and then, but there are, if you have to host a guest in your home or at the restaurant, then of course you use the soup spoons. But a lot of times at home, I mean, do we really want to? No, we don't need soup spoons. We just use a bowl. So, any other questions I can answer for you?
Oh, I missed the very beginning when you were preparing the chicken.
Yes.
So did you dice the chicken, or didn't dice it, but you made matchsticks out of the chicken too?
I did. I made the matchstick. Let me grab the chopsticks. I don't have a lot of chopsticks around. So what it is, I cut the chicken. It was still half frozen. And then depends on the size of that piece of chicken breast. You can divide that chicken breast in half or 3 sections, and then slice it, and then turn it around and then cut into the little sticks.
Okay.
So this is the part that this one that I cut earlier. It's still a little bit frozen. What happened after, once it's completely defrost, and you basically just use the whatever tool that you want to use. Make sure they're all mixed nicely, and then add 1 egg white in it.
Oh, okay.
Add an egg white, and make sure you mix well with the egg white.
Oh.
And it will look a little liquidy because the chicken is frozen, so it has a little bit of water. And then when you're adding the egg white, that is also liquid. And then you will sprinkle 1 thin layer of cornstarch on it.
Oh, okay.
Just a thin layer, and then mix well and set aside for 15-20 minutes. If you're really planning on using it right away, but try to set aside for 15-20 minutes. So use this do this part first.
Okay.
And then cut your vegetables. By the time it's all prepped, and then this should be very close enough, the cornstarch, the egg white, it all basically settle in together with the chicken. When you put the chicken in the wok, the first step, so they won't no excess of liquid going to popping around.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I just want to thank everybody for attending our first cooking class. We will have it every second Saturday of the month. Feel free to email me any suggestions that you'd like to see, certain recipes or dishes you'd like to have Jen try to cook for you. Also, I think what we learned is today, I'm going to post the recipe the week before on our website instead of downloading it, so that you can see her cooking bigger as a Zoom for you, so that you can print the recipe and follow along ahead of time. So that'll make it easier for everybody that way. So we're always looking for suggestions. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to email us. Otherwise, I'm going to head over to Jen's house to have lunch. Okay. All right. See
Yeah, if it is,
everybody.
if it is in person, everybody can have taste, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Take
All
care,
right,
everybody.
thanks.
and be safe.
谢谢，
Thank
Sure.
you.
再见。
Bye bye.
Okay,
谢谢。
再见。
Okay.